Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm back here at Ciocca Ford Lincoln here in Lawrenceville, New Jersey to check out this brand new 2023 Lincoln Aviator. This is the standard trim in Asher Gray. Now, we've already seen the upper level trims in the Aviator, the Reserve, the Grand Touring, and the Black Label. So now we're at the entry level trim to get into a Lincoln Aviator, and we're going to take a look at this and see if it brings some value to the Aviator lineup and whether or not this is actually the one to buy over the more expensive ones. So let's dig in. All right, the front end of this Aviator Standard, again, the color is Asher Gray, which is an additional cost color. We'll go over that when we take a look at some of the options on this vehicle. But we have LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, LED turn signals, all chromed out on the front of the grille. Typical for Lincoln, we're going to bling it up front. That's what we've done here. Underneath the Ciocca dealership's license plate, we have more functionality in the grille with functional side air curtains on either side. All right, our wheel and tire setup on this Aviator Standard. We have a 20-inch wheel, gloss black with silver accents. Very popular color combo nowadays, but I do like how this wheel is set up. I do like the sense of motion it gives when you're going down the road. Lincoln badge on the center cap, standard brake and rotor package. These 20-inch wheels are wrapped in Michelin Primacy Tour all-season tires, 255 on the width, a 55 series sidewall 20s, all four corners, all-wheel drive. All right, looking at the full side profile on this Aviator. Again, the Aviator is based on the Ford Explorer, so you're going to see a lot of similarities, except for the side profile design, where you have the Explorer with those aggressive body lines going from the front fender across into the rear taillight. Here on the Aviator, it's a little bit more subtle with that horizontal line that comes right from the headlight assembly through the doors and into the taillight. Very sleek, very conservative looking. We have chrome all the way around the windows as well as down below on the doors. Again, this is a Lincoln. We're going to want to luxe it up a bit. And so I think it looks really good in this Asher Gray. I think is a good color for the vehicle. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Moving in closer, we are all painted except for a little, believe it or not, flat black here rather than paint. So let me know what you think. This is a Lincoln. Let me know what you think if this should be painted or left flat black. Aviator call out right here on the front fender. Side view mirrors, we have gloss black with LED turn signals. We are color matched on the front and rear door handle. The fuel filler cap is on the left side of the vehicle. We do have a roof spoiler coming off the top. Gloss black shark fin antenna, chrome roof rails, and we do have that twin panel moonroof. All right, rear end of the Aviator, we have the roof spoiler coming off the top. The window wiper is tucked up underneath the roof spoiler to clean up the black back of the glass. They do that on the Aviator. They don't do that on the Explorer. On the Explorer, the wiper is down below on the glass. Let me know which way you like it. Lincoln badge, or excuse me, Lincoln spelled out underneath that. We have LED taillights, LED turn signals on the back of the Aviator. And then down below, we have functional quad tip exhaust, but instead of having the tailpipe come straight out through these exhaust tips that are chrome and nice slash cut, they dip down before they get to the opening and exit out the bottom, which I think looks really bizarre. If you're going to do a quad tip, why not have them just come straight out on either side rather than taking the tailpipe, bending it, and have it coming out in the bottom of the tips rather than coming straight out. It just seems strange to do it that way. Let me know what you guys think. All right, we're under the hood of this 2023 Aviator Standard, and what do you get for a power plant? You get that 3-liter EcoBoost V6 engine mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, 400 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. The Aviator can tow up to 6,700 pounds. MPGs, 17 in the city, 24 on the highway, 20 combined. The engine's minimum octane rating is 87, so you can run this on regular unleaded gas. Before we get into the interior of this Aviator Standard, you're going to want to know, Mike, how much does this Aviator cost? Well, we have to keep this in perspective now, because Lincolns aren't cheap vehicles, right? They're expensive to begin with. But when you go reserve, you're in somewhere between $72,000, $77,000 for a reserve trim. Then when you go Grand Touring, you're in the 80s. When you go Black Label, you're in the 80s. So keep bearing that in mind. Here is what we got for this Standard. Base price for the Aviator Standard all-wheel drive trim is $55,845. Now, we do have to add $750 for this Asher Gray Metallic Clear Coat paint. We then have to add $500 for the voice-activated navigation system. We have to add $1,000 for the Elements package. Now, the Elements package is going to get you a heated steering wheel, heated second row seats, heated wipers, then another $1,500 for the premium package, which is going to get you the twin panel moonroof and the 20-inch wheels. Now, we have 2 credits that we have to add in as well. There's a $250 credit for the removal of the premium audio system subwoofer, and then there is a $50 credit for the security system light rather than full, is what I guess. So once you add in your destination and delivery of $1,395 from Lincoln's Chicago assembly plant, you're looking at a total MSRP of $60,690 for this Aviator Standard. Now, that can be anywhere from $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 less than the next trim up, which is the Reserve. So it is much less expensive. Now, the dealer here added a couple of accessories. They added the all-weather floor mats for an additional $205 and the wheel locks for an additional $120. So the total dealer asking price on the lot today is $61,015. So let's check out the interior. Starting with the footbox, nice large dead pedal brake and accelerator, all rubber finish. Here are the dealer added all-weather floor mats that say Aviator on them, and I like the way the dead pedal is protected by the all-weather mat. That's a nice touch. We do have the Lincoln door sill plate to welcome you to the vehicle, which is a nice touch. Then we do have sandstone soft touch seats that are power, but the power controls are on the door, not on the seat. So we have power controls and lumbar control for the driver and the front passenger with 3 memory seat settings, which is a nice touch, and power fold mirror action. So they got you covered there. So that's a nice touch. And also we have the door poppers. So instead of having a door handle to pull, you push that button, the door pops open. Now, if the battery dies, here's your emergency out. Here's the lever to pull to get out of the car. So they got a backup for you. And a nice large door pocket. So it's nice. Now, the seating is soft touch seating. Sandstone is the color. Nice and soft. The bolstering is nice and soft. However, these seats are very light in color, and they're going to show dirt pretty quickly compared to darker seats. So let me know how you feel about the interior color with this Asher Gray. Door panel action, we have the brown with the sandstone two-tone. So let me know how you feel about that with the Asher Gray on the outside. You can see where the power seats are with the lumbar for the front passenger up on the top of the door, but there is gloss black around that. We do have the sandstone on the insert with a nice soft armrest, and again, more gloss black around the switchgear here in this Aviator Standard. Now, up on the dash, we have soft touch up here in brown, then we have some silver trim, then some sandstone with the stitching, then gloss black in between your heat and air vents. And then down below, we have a nice large glove box. Now, infotainment system time, this is where I'm not in love with what they're doing here in the Aviator and in the Explorer. We have a nice size iPad style 10.1-inch infotainment system screen. Nice size. And once you wake it up, it's pretty responsive to the touch, which I like. You can go ahead and Bluetooth your phone, play your music library, go to your apps, go to your settings, adjust what you want in the vehicle. It has over-the-air updates as well. So they have nice features in here. The issue I have with this is that it's Sync 3, which is wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto. Now, we're getting Sync 4 in the Corsair, which is the entry-level Lincoln model. Why in the world are we at Sync 3 and an Aviator, which is much more expensive? So Lincoln, as well as Ford and the Explorer, needs to get with the program and go Sync 4 in this model of vehicle, both for Lincoln and on the Ford side. At least that's my view. We have our engine start-stop button way up here. We have our heat and air vents right here. We have our parking cameras, parking assist right here, as well as your auto stop start function on or off. We're going to rock with that off. Down below, push buttons to go through this 10-speed automatic transmission. Underneath that, you have your volume knob, tune for the radio, seek for your music, and your four-way hazards. And then we have dual climate control action, which I like. We do have 3-stage heated seats for the driver and the front passenger, and a heated steering wheel right there, on or off. So they got you covered there. Down below, we do have some cubbies that you can open or close, and I love this black wood type design in here to keep the fingerprints off. I think that's a good idea. Inside here, you have a USB-C, USB-A, more storage here, 2 cup holders, the Lincoln key fob. Not in love with this because it looks just like a Ford Explorer's key fob. Unlock, lock, remote start, pop the tailgate panic button, and instead of the Ford badge, you got a Lincoln badge. I think a Lincoln needs something a little snazzier. Electric emergency brake drive modes. We'll take you through those when we go through the dash. Nice large armrest, nice and soft. Open it up, and we have a removable tray as well as a 12-volt. Backup camera. Look how beautiful that backup camera is with trajectory, and your towing center line looking really good. A little treat for you here. We'll back into this parking spot with the camera on. Look at that. Nice and easy. And then when you start getting close, you see where that upper right getting close. Now we're in orange, and now we're on red. Close enough, Mike. Put it back in the park. Beautiful backup camera in this Aviator. All right, the Aviator steering wheel. We do have a 2-tone steering wheel with the brown and the sandstone, which is a nice looking wheel. We have our voice commands up here on the 10 o'clock notch. So be careful not to push that too hard while you're resting your thumb up there, or else you might turn that on inadvertently. Just something to be aware of. Lincoln badge on the horn button. Like the way the wheel's laid out. On the left, you have your volume controls, as well as your controls over here for setting your cruise and whatnot. And then we have our music. We have the controls for our telephone, as well as the controls for your digital menu on the dash. Cruise control is down here. We do have paddles to go up and down this 10-speed auto, but these are plastic paddles. Plastic paddles, which I'm not in love with on a car this expensive. On the stalks, we have our directionals and high beams, and then our front and rear wiper on the right. Down below here, you have your pop the tailgate, brighten or dim the dash, control your headlights, and we have a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then we have a 12.3-inch digital display, drive mode action. Let's go all the way to the left, and we'll start with Excite or Sport, move over then to Conserve or Eco, oops, very touchy, and then Normal, and then Slippery, and then Deep Conditions, which is snow, mud, or sand. And those are the drive modes, and I like the way everything changes. It is a nice presentation. And then we can also go through additional information. We're low on gas, as you can see. We can go through additional information on the dash that you may want to see while you're driving down the road. So it's a pretty nice setup here in this Aviator. Overhead console, we have a spot for your sunglasses, and then we do have dome lighting, and you can just open the door, don't have to do anything, and the lighting will come on. When you close the door, the lighting will go off, so that's nice and easy. 1, 2, 3. And then we have our controls for our twin panel moonroof, or panoramic vista roof, as Lincoln calls it. So we just hit the shade button once, back it goes. It'll probably stop halfway. That's what they usually do. It does. And then second one all the way back over the mid-row. And then we can open up the glass with one touch open. You get your wind buffeter that comes up right there. That goes back a good way. One touch back to close, and it'll close on up. Plus you do have a tilt function in this roof. And then you close the shade, one touch, and back she comes. Stops halfway. Touch number 2, all the way back closed. Nice and easy. And then we have our sun visor with vanity and lighting. And does it slide? Yes, it does. And you do have your 3 garage door programmable buttons. All right, mid-row time in this 3-row SUV. I have the driver's seat set for my driving position. We'll step on in. No problem. And at 5'11", plenty of knee room, plenty of headroom, plenty of shoulder width room. But we have a Lincoln, and this is plastic all on the back with a cargo net. Same on the front passenger side. Was not expecting that in a Lincoln product, even though it is a standard trim. In the back here, we do have rear climate that we can adjust up or down to keep your rear passengers cool. We have 2-stage heated seats for both mid-row passengers and 2 heat and air vents. Down below that, 2 USB-Cs and a home power source. So they got you covered in the back of this Lincoln. Back door panel, same as the front as far as materials go and style goes, except obviously we don't have the power seats up top on the door like we do on the front door panel. So that's just a blank slate of gloss black, which looks kind of out of place. As we come to the seats, nice and thick, nice headrest. Look at the fat armrest to fit your arm, even if you're a big guy with a meaty arm, no problem. They don't ratchet, which I like. And then you have a little center console in the middle with a couple of cup holders. But the mid-row is very comfortable in this Aviator, and I do have some lighting back here as well. As you can see, this roof is going to come all the way back over me when it's open. Nicely done. All right, 3rd row action in the Aviator. You come up to the mid-row seat. Here's the button. You push it, and it moves up and out of the way, but not very far. There's not a lot of room to get in, just like an Explorer. So we will climb on in and sit down. Oh. And as you can see, we're kind of cramped back here. My knees are high. The seat was coming back and squished my foot. There's their room there. Not great. In the back here, we do have a cup holder and a storage area and a heat and air vent to keep everybody comfortable, but no connectivity in the 3rd row. I think Lincoln needs to provide that, even in a standard trim. We're at 60 grand and up. So overall, it's a bit cramped back here, just like you would see in a Ford Explorer. The seats in the back, though, do have the same nice soft text material and the same color. But look at these headrests. They're like pieces of plywood here. Very, very hard. Not in love with that. And that's true in any of the Ford products for the 3rd row. So small people and kids in the 3rd row. And make sure you bring a long cord to plug in if you want to get some charging action or connectivity here in row number 3. All right, getting in the cargo area through the tailgate of this Aviator, you can pop it from your key fob, you can pop it from the dash, or you can come to the back, and there's a little picture of your Aviator with the tailgate up right there. And that's under the L in Lincoln. There she blows, and underneath that is the button. Push it, up she comes. Nice electric assist on the way up, nice electric assist on the way down. In the back, plenty of room back here, tie downs, lighting, 12 volt, and we have power third row action down. So you can either put one seat or the other one down, or both at the same time. So putting down both at the same time, headrests fall and down they go, easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. Now you can put in even more luggage or cargo that you may want. And I have a feeling most people are going to rock with those third row down. Let me know what you think. But in order to get that mid row down, there's no release in the back for that. You have to come around either side of the vehicle, just like on the Ford Explorer. Pull that up, seat goes down. Pull that up, seat goes down. And now we have tons of room in the back of this Lincoln Aviator Standard, but love the third row power up, power down, but we got to do something about the mid row from back here because the competition is getting that done. And it's non-premium competition is putting releases for the mid row in the tailgate area. So Lincoln's really got to step it up. But you can also put the power up these third row by pushing the button again, and the third row will automatically come back up. The only thing you have to do is you have to bring up these headrests manually. All right, I don't know if we can see this with all this glare today, but here is the window sticker. We'll zoom on in on this Aviator. Hopefully you can see this, because I can't see anything on my phone display at all. Take her out for a spin. All right, we are on the road in this 2023 Lincoln Aviator Standard trim. And right away, I like the fact that all Aviators get the same power plant for the most part, right? Besides the Grand Touring, which has the plug-in action, the other Aviators are going to get the standard 3-liter EcoBoost V6, 400 horsepower, 415 on the torque, 10-speed auto. Plain and simple, great engine, a lot of horsepower and torque for its class for sure. So I like that. I like the fact that I can get that in the entry-level standard trim, because that's not true in Explorer. If you go down in trims in Explorer, you're going to get that 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder. You got to go up to the higher Explorer trims to get the V6. So I like the fact that if I want to spend a lot less money on a Lincoln, I can still get this nice engine. I still get the nice damping of the suspension. It feels good. The seat's incredibly comfortable. Even though I'm not in love with this interior color, I think the seats are really, really comfortable. The handling, obviously it's a big SUV, is going to be wallowy, but the brakes feel good. The handling feels good, feels better than some of the others, because we're talking rear-wheel drive when you're in too high, and as conditions warrant, this will go to all-wheel drive with power moving to the front wheels. Most of your other mid-size 3-row SUVs are front-wheel drive, and so rear-wheel drive is always going to perform better than front-wheel regarding handling, regarding performance, and whatnot. So I like the fact that we're rear-wheel drive biased in this Aviator. So with all that being said, we've seen the Reserve, we've seen the Grand Touring, we've seen the Black Label, but this Aviator Standard, with this one, the way it's equipped is 61 Gs, right? Now, 61 Gs is a lot of dough, no doubt. in the Lincoln scheme of things, it's less money. But this 61G Lincoln Aviator Standard is equivalent to an Explorer ST or an Explorer King Ranch. We're both of them right in the $61,000 to $63,000 range. So is it worth getting the Aviator Standard over the Explorer ST, which is the performance version of the Explorer, or the King Ranch, which is the luxurious version, excuse me, not King Ranch, Platinum, which is the more luxurious version of the Explorer? So let me know what you think. Now, you're not getting any more in that Explorer than you would get here in this Aviator Standard as far as features. So the question becomes, is that Platinum Explorer worth it over a Lincoln Aviator Standard? And we're going to get a Platinum Explorer trim on the channel, and that'll tell us. But let's rock and roll. Yeah, this thing flies down the road. The 400 horsepower out of this 3-liter EcoBoost is insane, the way it pulls down the road. I mean, this is the engine to get in this vehicle opposed to the 4-cylinder, for sure. Man, is this nice. On the brakes. Handles pretty well. Again, the rear-wheel drive, and now emergency stop in 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Beautiful. Nice and linear. No pulling the wheel. And a nice 10-speed automatic going through the gears for you. I mean, just a really nice piece of engineering in this Aviator. So that'll be the interesting comparison. I can't wait to get that Explorer Platinum trim on. It's going to be right in the same price range as this Aviator Standard, and it'll be interesting to see which way you guys would go, maybe even which way I would go in picking one. But certainly it's a lot cheaper than the Reserve. Now, you're not getting all the Reserve action though, right? You're not getting ventilated seats. You're not getting massage seats. You're not getting any more action in that mid row like you would see in a Reserve. So there is less stuff. You're not getting the evasive handling assist like you would in the Reserve. You're not getting the air suspension like you would in the Reserve. So there's a lot of things you're not getting performance-wise and feature-wise in the Standard, but you're not going to pay that $72,000, $73,000, $74,000, $75,000 price tag that an Aviator Reserve brings. So is it worth taking a little less if you want to stay in the Lincoln range and getting yourself maybe a $12,000 to $15,000 savings in MSRP? That is really where the game is at with the Standard trim. And that's what I'd like to know from you guys. What do you think? Aviator, Explorer, something else? But the real action is, do you save money and go Standard over a Reserve Aviator, or do you go Standard over that Platinum Explorer trim? So that'll be a very interesting comparison. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I want to thank Ciocca Ford Lincoln here in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, for allowing the channel access to this 2023 Lincoln Aviator Standard all-wheel drive for review today. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Please also consider subscribing and turn on that notification bell so you never miss another Shabby's Rides video. And I'll see all of you on the rebound. Take care, everyone.